And just want to let you know that we are going to be recording this presentation. So again, thank you so much for joining us to learn more about your state college. And today we are happy to present the DSC College of Education. And in a moment, we're going to start our presentation, which will be followed by a question and answer session. And just so you know, the chat or instant message feature of this webinar has been disabled in favor of a question and answer at the end of the presentation. So now I'd like to introduce Dr. Amy Ringu, our chair for the School of Education. Dr. Ringu?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy you guys are here today. My assistant chair, Dr. Donnie May, and I are here to talk to you about the programs that we have to offer at the School of Education here at Daytona State College. So here we go. So if you've ever been thinking about a career in education, we want to make sure that you know Daytona State College is the place for you. We have in the AA program a ton of different education electives that can help you decide if this is something, a career that you've been thinking about. We have at the college 7 different bachelor's programs, and we'll go over each of those. If you already have a bachelor's program, then if you've already completed a bachelor's, degree, then we actually have a program for you called the Educator Preparation Institute, in which you can earn in 2 short semesters your teaching certificate. If you are already a teacher in the classroom, then we have something called alternative certification, where we can work with you again to help from a temporary to a permanent certificate. We also offer the standalone reading endorsement for current teachers, as well as teacher recertification courses. So we are a small but mighty program that has lots to offer, especially if you are thinking about becoming a teacher. So why choose Daytona State College over any other teacher prep program that's out there in the state of Florida? Well, obviously, we think we're the best, but we've got some really great statistics and ways to kind of back up that claim. Of course, Daytona State College is known for our quality coursework and individual attention that we give students. We have full-time faculty who've all either been teachers in the classroom or teachers and or administrators in the K-12 system. So not only do we talk the talk, but we've walked the walk. Of course, you're choosing Daytona State College because you are smart about your money and you know that we are an incredible bargain. We have a wonderful reputation with our partner school systems. We work with both Volusia and Flagler County Schools, as well as Florida Virtual, to give you lots of different options. If you live in one of those districts, then you can do your field placements in one of those districts, and you can get hired in one of those districts. So we have a lot of folks who live here, work here, and get their degree here. Of course, we have a really high employment rate. We like to say that pretty much everybody who goes to our program who wants a job can get a job. We help you from start to finish. Once you have gone through the program and you are ready to be employed as a teacher in the state of Florida, we help you with that hiring process and have a really high success rate with that. So, we just are super proud of our program and the product that we produce. And, a lot of good reasons to choose Daytona State College. So if you are in your AA program and you are trying to decide, is teaching for me? I like working with children. I've heard that teachers have a great schedule. The teachers that I know really love what they do. It's a very meaningful profession. I've heard, that it's all about giving back to the next generation. Well, and if you've never tried an education class, we have a lot of different options for you to choose from. So our basic, intro class that we run is EDF 1005, and that's Introduction to Education, and that helps you kind of dip your toe into the field of education. It gets you out in the field, it kind of walks you through the history of education, and we often find that students who take that course just as an elective end up coming and, becoming education majors and go on to be teachers. So that even just taking that one class as an elective, that can change sort of your whole trajectory of, what you're going to do with your life. If you have ever taken a class where you've had students with disabilities in it, or if you've ever taken a class like American Sign Language, or often we find that folks who have family members who have disabilities, we have a class called Introduction to Exceptional Student Education, and we often find that the students who love this class go on to be exceptional student education teachers. And that's just a really good class. If that's anything that you've ever thought about working with students with disabilities, that class is definitely something that I encourage you to take. The next class on the list is elementary mathematics, and that is a class that's required if you're thinking about becoming an elementary or an ESC teacher. That is your basic mathematics course for elementary school teachers and ESC teachers. And that'll help kind of give you sort of a foundation to learning how to teach mathematics. Our EDF 2085 is diversity in education. We have students who take this class as an elective. It counts as the cultural requirement for your AA program. And it sort of introduces you to a whole range of different student populations, from English language learners to exceptional student education, talks a lot about culture and race and ethnicity, so religions. That's a really kind of good broad class elective to take. Our EME 2040 is technology in education, and again, that's a great elective that you can take and learn all about how to use technology in education. We find a lot of our business majors take this class because it will fulfill one of those elective spots in that program. And then last but not least, we have educational psychology, EDP 2002. Again, another super elective that talks a lot about human growth and development and psychology behind adolescence and growing up. So once you've taken your electives and you find out, this really is for me, I love teaching, this is what I want to do with my life, it's my calling, then we have lots of different bachelor's programs for you to choose from. Our most popular is elementary education, and about 90% of our majors are elementary majors. That means that they want to teach anywhere from kindergarten through 6th grade. Our second biggest major is exceptional student education. Those are folks who want to work with students with disabilities, and that actually goes all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade. And then we have a whole slew of secondary majors, and those are majors who are interested in either science or math. We have the math education major, and that's for folks who want to teach either middle school or high school mathematics. And then we have a whole bunch of science majors. So if you want to teach biology or earth, space, chemistry, physics, you can stay right here at Daytona State College and explore, taking one of those majors and then go on to become either a science or math teacher. So we have a lot of different options here at Daytona State College. So here are some Bachelor's of Education highlights for you if you decide to go on to our bachelor's program. At the end of the program, like I said before, not only is it guaranteed employment, but you will receive your 5-year professional educator's certificate. And that is good for you to teach anywhere in the state of Florida. Sometimes I get the question of, hey, I wanted to go over and teach in Marion County or Polk County. Well, great. When you graduate from our program, you get that 5-year Florida teaching certificate, meaning you can teach anywhere in the state of Florida. Our elementary and ESC majors, they earn both the full reading and ESOL endorsement, which, number one, prepares you to be an amazing teacher because you're learning all about how to teach reading and all about how to teach English language learners. But then number two, makes you super employable. Principals love to hear that you are endorsed in both of those areas. For our secondary majors, for math and science, those folks earn reading competencies 1 and 2 in their program, and they get the 60 hours of ESOL training. So not quite the whole ESOL endorsement, but they certainly get a good part of it. Of course, a huge highlight of our program, as I've said before, is individualized attention. Every single education major that we have is assigned a faculty advisor with lots of experience, and they help you walk you through the program and answer all of your questions, and really your guide on your journey to becoming a teacher. Obviously, we have small classes, and it's a great schedule for our first semester students. They take classes 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. For our second and third semester classes, those classes are done on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then in your senior internship, that's when you'll be in the classroom 5 full days a week. So it's really a conducive schedule for our bachelor's programs. So I've convinced you want to take some classes and get started on your path to becoming a teacher. And, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? Okay, so in order to start getting ready for applying to the Bachelors of Education program, we have some prerequisites. And those, of course, are making sure that you have a conferred AA degree. We have a lot of students who go straight from Daytona State College's AA degree into Daytona State College's bachelor's program. You must have a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher. You have to have satisfactory completion of all 4 subtests of the General Knowledge Test of Skills. You need to have volunteer clearance from Volusia County Schools, which is a background check. And you need to get a grade of C or higher on EDF 1005, EEX 2010, and MAE 2801 if you're going to elementary or ESE. If you are interested in going to our math or science program, there's other prerequisite classes that you must have, and we'll be happy if you give us a call. We can go over those prerequisites. And then last but not least, you need to have a Bachelor's of Education application on file. All right, if you're one of those folks who already has your bachelor's degree and you are looking to earn that 5-year teaching certificate, we have a couple options, and our most popular option is called the Educator Preparation Institute. That is a group of 7 classes that by the end you will have the option to apply for your 5-year teaching certificate once you have taken the 7 classes and passed the 3 Florida teacher educator exams. It's basically 21 college credit hours of instruction that we do either online or in the evening. If you don't have your own classroom, it involves a field placement of 90 hours with a mentor teacher. And since it is a state-approved program, it is eligible for financial aid. So we find a lot of our students opt for the EPI program who already have a bachelor's. So why choose EPI? Well, like I said, all of those great options of having online and evening classes. You have a devoted EPI advisor, Dr. Anna Blaine, who will help you personalize your class registration and figure out what works best with your schedule. You are placed into a field experience based on your statement of eligibility with a mentor teacher who is certified in that area. It only takes 2 full semesters to complete. Like I said, it's 7 classes, so you can either take 4 classes in one semester and 3 in the next, or 3 or 4, or maybe go at your own pace where you take 2 classes at a time. It's completely up to you, and Dr. Blaine will help you figure out that schedule. Obviously, the job opportunities start right away. So if you haven't heard, there's a teacher shortage in the state of Florida, and we often find that our EPI students who start the program get offered jobs within the first semester, and if by not the first semester, then by the second semester. So that's a really great thing if you're looking for that. And then the other positive part about EPI is by taking the coursework, you're going to earn competencies 1 and 2 of your reading endorsement, which again really speaks to your employability. The other path that we find that some students works best for them if they've already been teachers and are on temporary certificate. So this is for folks who already have their bachelor's degree. They already are teachers in the classroom. We have the opportunity for them to do what's called alternative certification. And so basically, Dr. Blaine looks at your statement of eligibility and helps you decide which classes that you need to take. And if you fall into that boat, then we're happy to help you with that pathway as well. So if you are already a teacher out there, you have your 5-year teaching certificate, or you've gone through the EPI program, and your principals come to you and said, hey, you need to have that reading endorsement as well, which is the case for a lot of teachers out there in the state of Florida right now. We have right here at Daytona State College the standalone reading endorsement. It is 3 classes, so if you have already been through the EPI program, you've already taken RED 3012, which is Principles of Reading, and so you basically just need to add on those other 2 classes. If you haven't gone through our EPI program, then no problem. It's 3 classes. They are all online. They can be done in one major semester. There are 2 8-week classes and 1 15-week class. And if you are interested in doing that, then, please, by all means, reach out and we will help you get enrolled for those classes. All right, and finally, if you are a teacher out there and you just need to get your certificate renewed, the state of Florida issues 5-year professional teaching certificate. So every 5 years, you need to get your certificate renewed, and you may need a class in exceptional student education, or you may need a class, to sort of refresh, maybe your classroom management strategies or something like that. Then we have got your back. We've got those bachelor's level college credit classes, and we can help you out with that too. All right, so if you've got any questions, if you have, heard something on here that you want to know more information about, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is my name, amy.ringu@DaytonaState, one word, .edu. I'm in Building 200, room 301. Or you can pick up the phone and give me a call at 506-3186. I'm more than happy to talk all day long about why you should become a teacher, or help you figure out what you need to do on your journey to becoming a teacher. So thank you so much for listening. And if there are any questions or comments, we're happy to take questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ringu. We will move on to our question and answer session now. So we do have, we're going to give it a moment to bring up some questions, and I'll just read them to you as they come up. So our first one is, what if I'm having trouble getting signed up for my GK test? What can we do?
Oh, that's a really good question. So as you guys know, the general knowledge test of skills is a requirement for admissions to the program. So if you are struggling with securing a seat, I think the best thing to do right now would be to send me an email. We are working with students on a one-on-one basis to help them get registered, because seats are definitely limited with everything that's happened with the pandemic. Assessment centers have been slow to reopen. So, but we want to help you. We want to make sure that you are able to take the GK, as prior to admissions. And so just send me an email, and I'll be happy not only to help you get registered for the general knowledge test of skills, but also to help you prepare for it, because it's kind of a misnomer in that it's general knowledge. You actually have to study and prepare for it. So I'm happy to send study materials. And good news is that our Academic Support Center is working right now on creating a virtual general knowledge test of skills sort of study session that they're going to put out there in June, and so I can give you information about that as well.
All right, and our next question, I know that you've mentioned some of the classes that are part of the curriculum, but Will this teach me how to be an online teacher if I want to teach like for Florida Virtual or something?
Donnie, do you want to jump in and answer that question?
Yes, Florida Virtual School teachers still need to have a full certification, and we have several ways of helping you become a very good online instructor. Many of our classes also have online components, and we do work with Florida Virtual School to place interns. So yes, the answer to the question is yes, we can help you become a very good online instructor.
All right, and this is an interesting one. As a parent who is now having to supplement my child's instruction at home, are there just standalone classes that I could take that could help me help my children without becoming a teacher?
Dr. May, do you want to take that question, or would you like me to answer that?
You go ahead.
So anybody can actually take any of the AA classes as a non-degree seeking student. So, you know, in addition to taking our education electives, you know, if it's something like you are struggling with math or history, students can actually, you know, anybody can actually apply to Daytona State College and take a standalone class. So, you know, I know we're all, as parents, we're all struggling with helping our students with their curriculum. But the good news is that, you know, you absolutely can take a class, you know, if that's something that you're interested in.
And another question. Oh, go ahead, Beth.
Sorry, Karen. Another question that came up was, explaining that the programs at Daytona State are a 2+2. Could you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So Daytona State College is unique in that we are a state college that has bachelor's programs. And there are several actually bachelor's programs here at Daytona State, and we're just one of them. And so what happens is, you know, in a traditional university, the students have 4 years to complete coursework that, you know, ranges from, you know, 1,000 to 4,000 level classes. At Daytona State College, they earn their students earn their associate's degree, and they get that degree conferred, and then they apply for the bachelor's program, which is a second 2 years of college education. So it's like 60 credits for their AA and 60 credits for their bachelor's program. So when we say that they're required to have a conferred AA degree, we need them to have all of that, those general classes for the Associates of Arts program completed. And sometimes people get confused about whether or not our program needs an Associate of Arts or Associate of Science. And, you know, per the Florida Department of Education, folks who are coming into our program need an Associates of Arts. If you have an Associates of Science, that doesn't mean, oh, I can't ever, you know, come into a Bachelor's of Education program at Daytona State College. It just may mean that you need to take a few more classes in order to turn, you know, to have that Associates of Science switch over to an Associates of Arts or add on an Associates of Arts degree. So it's 2+2. It's a 60 plus 60 credits. That's a good question.
Another question is, if you already have volunteer clearance, how do you get it? And then along with that, someone's asking, with the schools being closed, how do they even get volunteer clearance?
That's a great question. Yeah, the pandemic has definitely been a challenge. For folks who already have volunteer clearance, we are able to verify that with Volusia County Schools. It's simply an email that we send back and forth between their contact and the district office. And typically most students have volunteer clearance who've gone through EDF 1005 because it's a requirement. They get volunteer clearance by going through that Introduction to Education class. If students are getting their prerequisites this summer, or if they started their prerequisites in spring B, it's a little different because the schools have not been open to the public. So what we've been working on right now is designating, we're working with Volusia County Schools to designate a site where students can go, because volunteer clearance is a two-step process. So you go into the Volusia County Schools website and you apply for volunteer clearance. You even have an option when you're going through that volunteer clearance process to say, they ask you, why are you doing this? And you choose because you're a student going into a teacher prep program. So that's actually an option that you choose. And it's called the Raptor system. So basically what it does is it runs a background check on you to make sure that you are in compliance and that you are not a sexual predator or anything like that, because you're going to be working with children. And then that's step one of the process. Step two of the process is going to an actual school site and swiping your driver's license, because that swipe of the driver's license, that actually does the part of the background check where it checks you with the sheriff's office, just to make sure that you're good to work around children. So it has been a challenge, I'm not going to lie, for our spring B and our summer students. And so right now what we've been doing is, working with students one-on-one. Obviously you go in, you fill in that Raptor, you get the process started on Volusia County Schools website, and you fill in that Raptor application, and then, send us an email, let us know that you've done that. And then we're working with students one-on-one, and we're going to try to find, hopefully very soon, a site where they can go and just finish up the process, which is just a matter of getting their driver's license swiped. So that's a really good question. That's been an ongoing challenge for us these past 2 semesters, but we're working on a solution.
And it looks like we have one more question, which is, how do I know which prerequisites I need for my major?
Oh, that's a great question. So if you're an elementary or ESC major, there are 3 prerequisite classes that you need to take: Introduction to Education, Exceptional Student Education, which is EX 2010, and MAE 2801, which is elementary mathematics and elementary school mathematics. If you are a math or science secondary major, then the 2 education prerequisite classes that you have to take are EDF 1005, Introduction to Education, and EEX 2010, which is Introduction to Exceptional Student Education. And then what we would do is you'd sit down and take a look at the catalog, because the prerequisite classes for math majors are very different than the prerequisites for, say, a biology or a physics major. There's a lot of content classes that are prerequisites. For example, in mathematics, you have Calculus 1 and Calculus 2, and then you get to choose one other higher order math class. So for those majors, the prerequisites are very specific, and we'll take a look at the catalog. But for elementary and ESE, who's the majority of our majors, like I said, it's just those 3 classes: the EDF 1005, EX 2010, and MAE 2801.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Ringu and Dr. May. We've really appreciated your presentation today. Just a couple reminders for our audience. Summer B classes begin on June 29th, and fall classes begin on August 24th. Registration is open now. If you've not already done so, please apply now from our website, daytonastate.edu. And you can reach all of our enrollment offices. We are available by phone, by email, or by web chat, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And again, we really appreciate you joining us today for our webinar. We will have different webinars scheduled in the future. You can check with us online at daytonastate.edu/admissions/webinars to see our upcoming events. And thank you again so much. Have a great day.